I'm Barbara Britt, and I'm a motivational speaker that comes to you with action steps. And today we're going to do our second portion, or second video on legacy. Action steps. I'm going to actually give you some action steps today to follow in. So not only do you get excited about building your legacy, but that you have some steps to get you there. I do consulting with businesses as well, going in on culture. The culture of your business is everything. The culture on your business is everything. And when you add value to your staff, your employees, you even add value to yourself, the CEOs, the management, then it's a place that customers and clients want to come to. They feel happy there. They feel valued themselves. And then they go out and they spread the word about you. And then I do professional coaching as one of my passions. I get to be with an individual, get to walk beside them on their journey, helping them with their action steps, their focus, and holding accountable for what they're doing. And we all need that at some time in our lives to actually have someone that holds us accountable and loves us unconditionally and wants the best for us. Everybody needs that. So that's what I do with my life. And today we're going to talk about legacy. Last time I was with you, the first video of this nature, we talked about why I was asked to do a speech that I didn't really, it's just not my area of expertise. It's not my area of interest, to say the least. But when I went in and researched a little bit, I found out that what those people were doing and what they were talking about, they just didn't use the word. It was legacy. And that is something I feel powerful about, and something that I want to make sure that all of us leave behind. So I'll start off with a quote on legacy with you, and just to get us started, it says, you get to decide the legacy that you leave. Now, is that powerful or what? You get to decide the legacy that you want to leave behind. You, not someone else. You're not pushed into it. You're not dragged into it. You get to leave that legacy. So since it's something that's so important, don't just leave it to chance. What are you passionate about? What do you have skills? What do you know that you can make life better? What do you know that you can build from? Well, I can tell you right now, use the example that we're seeing all around us. And I hope that if this video is seen 5 years from now, that it will have changed and you'll go, well, that's not even relevant. I'm hoping that. But right now, what do you see when you see TV and radio and people, when we're not leaving legacies of building and hope and opportunity, but we're building legacies that almost are based on hate. A lot of times they're based on hate or being mad or what. Okay, that's not building a legacy. That's not building. That's not creating. And since you are put on here to create, let's think about the legacy that we're going to leave behind. I will say this to you. I have stood on the shoulders of giants. Do those that come behind me deserve anything less? Well, I'm going to tell you this. If you're watching this right now, you have stood on the shoulders of giants. And they have let you see far, deep, and wide. And I'll ask you this one more time. Do the people that come behind them, the humans that come behind you, deserve anything less than to be able to see far, deep, and wide? So today we're going to talk about that, and you're going to decide the legacy that you want to leave behind. How do you pay homage to a legacy? When you see something, how do you pay homage to it? Not only do you pay homage to it, but how do you keep it going or keep it going further? Or maybe you actually take it and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take a turn. Because it's never wrong to see something and take a turn and change it and make it better and increase it. That's what we're here for. It's what you can do. When I was reading about the area that they wanted me to go on, it brought me back to the legacy that my high school students left behind. Students left behind. And I was again humbled by what could be done when people don't care about the credit, the money. They just care about doing what's right. and doing what's better for other human beings. So that's the day where we're going to start on legacy. So when I go to do that, first of all, I have to be intentional. In order to build a legacy, I have to be intentional. I have to think about it. It's not enough to say, well, I wish it would be better if. I can't believe those aren't building. I have to be intentional. What step do I want to take to make a difference? And then I can do it. I have to listen. Before I ever build a legacy, I have to listen to what other people need, want. I have to really listen. And I will tell you this right now, we're not in the stage of listening. When you say words like this, well, you know, those millennials, or the millennials are saying, well, you know, the baby boomers or the X generation, the white, whatever. What you did was you gave labels. And when you gave labels, when you give those labels, you're not building a legacy. You're putting people in a box, and you're already intentionally deciding what they think, they feel, they want. So next time, take all thoughts out of your head about what that person looks like, how tall, wide, what color they are, age, gender, it doesn't matter. Listen to what they're telling you. That's how you'll find to build a legacy. What is important to the human race? What is it? I don't think it's different parties. I don't think it's you know, what social or economic group you're with. What's important to humans? And what do we need to be able to stand for? And then putting in your action steps. Again, if you don't put in action steps, it's a wish or a dream. And then I want you to build your foundation. And I want you to get your shoulders ready. Put your feet a little bit out of shoulder width. Tuck your hips underneath so that your spinal cord has support. Lower your shoulders. And then I want you to do this. I want you to reach your hand in front of you, beside you, back behind, and down below. And I want you to grasp that wrist and help pull them or pop them up onto your shoulders. And I want your head to be straight across and have focus. Because that's what's going to make the difference. Have that focus. Okay? And when you do that, I want you to pull those people up there and give them that view of the far, deep, and wide. But not the last thing. The last thing that you want to do when you pull them up on your shoulders is to reach up your hand and grasp the hand of the people that have been mentoring you all your life. And I want you to put them on your shoulders and let them see what they worked on to create. When their hands are shaky, when their eyes are not as clear as they once were, I want you to grasp that hand and let them know that their wisdom, that their thought processes are important, and they will be important to the day that they die. So remember, when we're building a legacy, encompass everybody, because it's so important. It's too important not to. I want to ask you this. What legacy will you live and lead? You notice I said live. What legacy will you live and lead? You can't leave a legacy if you don't live it. If you don't walk that talk, you can't do it. Again, if you just say it, oh boy, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Those are wishes and dreams. They're not reality. They're not what gets the job done. You've got to be intentional. You've got to be reflective. And you've got to build in order to have that legacy. Again, we're calling all humans, male and female. And we don't care what color they are, but where they live, what country, their ethnicity. We don't care about any of that. We care that we are calling humans to build that legacy with us, to walk with us. But we have to know what they want and what they hold dear. The men and women that came before us are extending their hands out. And they're imploring us. They're imploring us to take that good, the legacy of building, and keep going forward. They're imploring us to do that. How many of you had a teacher or somebody that led you that you would do anything to keep from disappointing them? Well, when you're building your legacy, think about that person, and that will help you to know if what you're doing is right or wrong, if you have any doubt. So my question again to you is, what will you have done in your lifetime that will make a difference tomorrow? What will you have done in your lifetime that will make a difference for tomorrow in your family, your community, your business, and the world? Again, what do you want to be remembered by? Every one of us have unique skills and talents and gifts. We have the opportunity to mentor our young, middle, and old. We have that opportunity. We have the opportunity to be mentored, to reach out and ask how something was done and why it was done. It doesn't matter how young they are. People go, well, I'm not going to mentor someone that's 2. You should. That's where your empathy's at. That's where you start seeing true leadership. That's where you see empathy. All those things are important. So yes, reach out to them. Again, if you're going to live, leave a legacy. Leave a legacy that leaves a mark on the world that cannot be erased. I know today that you got some information about legacy, and I would love for you to give me back some information. What legacy are you living? What do you want to do? And remember, it doesn't mean that you have to have a lot of money. It doesn't mean that you have to do certain things. It means that you have the opportunity to start a movement. Yesterday I heard from Erica and Rich and their AKOW. And I loved it because what they talked about was generosity. They talked about generosity. And they talked about how they started in their city when it had 2 snowstorms. And they knew people were cold, and they bought 17 blankets, and they thought, this is enough. 2 snowstorms, and they bought some blankets and thought this will be enough. They bought 17 blankets. In that time period, in less than 5 minutes, all of their blankets were left. Now, what they did was that moment forward, they started building their legacy. They started doing things for other people. So I encourage you to go to their website and invest. Absolutely wonderful. And it's called Generosity Global. And what those 2 people took from 17 blankets is unbelievable. And what it did too is it, again, gave me some of those action steps. It gave me some memories. And I could go back and look at what my high school leadership did. We started with 5 families at Christmas, a little Christmas stocking, those little $2 Christmas stockings, a little Christmas stocking and the food to make their Christmas dinner. That's what we started with. We ended later on with 120 families, 320 children, 17 days of a complete Christmas with 3 meals a day and all the things that went with it. Adding water, electricity, moving families. A legacy can be built, and it doesn't matter. This was built with high school students. This was built in a 6-month period, and it was $60,000 into our community. Go back out and look at what's being done and see the legacy that you want to leave behind you. Even if your name's not in lights and you don't get lots of money and songs aren't being sung about you. What's important is what you not leave behind for someone. It's what you leave in someone. And so again, I'm Barbara Britt. I thank you for this opportunity to speak to you today on something I'm passionate about, leaving that legacy.